So we are here again. Thank you for being here again, João.
Thank
How
you.
are
It's
you?
my pleasure. Oh, I'm doing great today. I have my
Yeah,
tea. hmm
yeah,
What are,
perfect.
what about you? How are you
I,
doing?
I have my coffee. This is Minas Gerais. It's supposed to be
It's a
Minas Gerais. Have
wonderful
you been
month.
to Minas Gerais?
Once I've been to Ouro Preto.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Amazing.
perfect. Did you like it?
Probably, yeah, probably best trip of my life because it's such a wonderful place. It's like
Yeah,
going back in time,
yeah,
right? This
yeah.
is lovely about Minas.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you can come and visit me in Belo Horizonte soon.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
yeah. I've never been to São Paulo. Actually, I've been to São Paulo to take a connection to another place, but São
But you
Paulo,
didn't explore the city itself?
mm-mm, never. Yeah.
You
Have you
have
been to
to.
the capital? I mean, I know
I
you're in the
have
state.
a few times because this is a funny story. I'll try to
Hmm.
keep it short. But when I turned 18, I asked my parents to give me a trip to São Paulo by myself because I wanted to live this
Wow.
transformation journey.
Yeah.
It was amazing because I remember very clearly going up on the escalator to
Yeah.
Paulista Avenue and the world opened before my eyes. It was amazing. It transformed you. It transformed me.
Wow. Wow.
So
Amazing. Amazing.
I recommend that.
Wow. I want to visit São Paulo. I was meant to go last year. You know why?
Mhm.
In
Oh,
July.
last year? Oh, yeah. That's a trauma.
Were
Take
you
care.
going to?
Yeah, the 2 days.
Me too. Me too.
I mean, I hope we can get to that experience someday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 For those who don't know, we're talking about Loverfest, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she was going to perform in São Paulo last year. Yeah. Yeah, and it was actually the first time I got to like not got to go, but I was going to go to São Paulo because by like living in Minas, it was frustrating because we do not have a lot of concerts, international at least, in Minas
Mhm.
Gerais. So I've watched like all of my favorite bands and singers like going to São Paulo and Rio
Yeah.
and I couldn't go because I was under 18, but then I was over 18, but I didn't have a job and I didn't have money and I couldn't go for some
Mhm.
reason. I could never go, but this time I could go and I was going to go, but it didn't happen. So,
Or
well,
exactly. Very frustrating. But have you been to an international concert?
I have in Belo Horizonte, the few concerts that we had actually, I went to McFly. I was a huge fan of McFly. Do you know? Have you
Nice.
have you heard of them?
I have. It
Yeah.
was a thing in the 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I got to go twice. And also Simple Plan. I I went to their concerts twice and RBD also.
Why not? I've been there. I've been there.
You've been? Yeah.
Yeah, not to the concert, but to the RBD fandom. Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
Wow, we have so much in common, I feel.
We do,
Wow.
which is very nice to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, amazing. Yeah, so we are here now to talk about another Billie Eilish song that is
Mhm.
called When the Party's Over. And as I was telling you before, I yeah, so I started listening to Billie Eilish compulsively, one song, absorbing it, and then jumping into the next. And when I got to When the Party's Over, I it was the first song that I actually wanted to sing and learn how to play. And it was so frustrating because I realized that it is not easy to sing Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus? What?
Now you're the bad fan.
Why? Why am I talking about Miley Cyrus? Anyway,
Uh,
Billie Eilish, it has nothing to do with the names are not alike. Well, but yeah, so it is not
Billy Billy.
Billie. It is not it is not easy to sing Billie Eilish, because when you hear, and as we were saying, she sings like whispering, and it feels like, well, I can sing that. Why not?
Anybody could do that, right?
Everybody could do that, right? But no, not possible. So I remember like learning the chords to When the Party's Over, but I couldn't. I mean, wow, it's a very difficult song, and I don't think that many artists or singers could sing Billie Eilish.
Totally. She's an underdog. And I've been through the same experience you had with When the Party's Over. I learned the chords. And then when I tried to sing it, it felt like an animal in agony dying. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm glad nobody's here to listen to this because it was so,
Yeah,
strange.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Respect for Billy.
No, so much respect. Actually, I don't have you on Instagram, but if do you have Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I record a 15 second stories singing that song. I'll show you.
Mhm.
It's very
Please.
it's very horrible, but I'll share with you, and it's
I
there.
doubt that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but yeah. So I was obsessed with that song. I was listening all day. I was trying to play and sing it, and I would like to share the lyrics with you
Mhm.
so we can talk a
Let's
little
do
bit
that.
about it. Yeah. So
So
I
that I don't
fixed
forget again.
the name. Yeah. So when she starts like saying, "Don't you know I'm no good for you? Don't you know I'm no good for you?" So who is she singing this to? What does she mean according to you?
Hmm. It's very hard to look at these lyrics and not think that I got confused by my own words. It's hard to look at the lyrics and imagine something else that is not a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Um, Probably because I apply those lyrics to my personal life. And when you see someone saying, don't you know I'm no good for you? When you think about not being good for someone, I think love is a emotional place where that happens, right? So I believe it's a romantic thing, but it could also apply to other things. I mean, in different moments of life, I personally have felt that I wasn't good for someone, for my family, for friends, for someone I had a relationship with. But I think it's pretty much romantic. She's probably feeling like a burden or feeling toxic or feeling like a problem. I think this is probably the main idea. She's feeling
Mhm.
like a problem here, which is something I can relate to.
Yeah. But I remember listening to this and thinking, isn't the other person to decide what is good for them or not? I mean,
Mhm.
it feels selfish to me when we decide, when we make the decision, when we, I don't know, we come up to someone and said, I'm not, I'm not good for you. You are so much better out without me. I mean, it's their choice. Like if they want to keep, if they want to be in our lives, I don't know. I feel like I I I I I think I always like to think of this song when I was 20-ish, something, I don't know. And I was living here in Belo Horizonte. I remember going to this nightclubs and being like so drunk and I relate to that song like being in that state when the party's over, when
Wow.
when the party's over, literally, like, because when you are in the party and you have your friends and you have people, like the rush and the drinks and the music and everything, the lights, you let go momentaneously, like you forget things. But when you're coming home, there is always this one. For me back then, there was one person that I wanted to come home to. And when the party's over, so I remember myself like being 20, 22, 3, 4. That went on until I was 24, I guess. And it's when you think about the people who matter the most. But then I used to think about that song like in that state of getting in a taxi, going home, and taking my phone just to see if there was a message from that person that I wanted to talk to the most. And
Hmm.
if it wasn't, like recording this voice drunk message, letting them know I was thinking about them, or in that moment of like I cannot control myself because I am
Hmm.
so like drunk. So let me tell you how much I like you. And and then for me, this song is like this phone call, don't you know I'm no good for you? It sucks losing you, but I
Sure.
don't know. I have to learn how to live with that.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, how is it this song for you? How do you interpret
That's
it?
that's such an intense feeling because I totally can see that because when you are in a party, it's like reality is in a suspension mode for a second,
Yeah,
right? You go to this place,
yeah,
different colors, different lighting, different people, people you don't know. Everything is in the dark. It's like a refuge in a way, right? It's a safe haven, but you can be who you want, you can do what you want, nobody's judging. But after you leave that, what is left? Maybe a
yeah,
call, maybe someone waiting for you. And I think that's wonderful because that's exactly what she says, right? I'll call you when the party's over. When everything is, finished,
hmm,
you are the one who's left, which is really interesting. But for me, when I think about this part of the song, and I was planning to talk to you about this part,
hmm,
for me, what is the most intense part of the situation is when you leave a club, when you leave the party, and you're literally leaving and you feel the loneliest ever.
yeah,
Like, it's so lonely leaving
yeah,
after a party. I hate that.
yeah.
And it's such a
Me too.
specific feeling, but I totally hate that. Because
Yeah,
for a moment I couldn't relate to the lyrics. I didn't have anyone to send a message to. And even the title of the song triggers me a little, as I said before, because it's that idea of the party's over, so you have nothing left. And
yeah,
that gets to me, gets to my heart intensely. So that's what comes to my mind when I think about this idea of the party being over. And something, I don't know if you have experience with that, but something that happens is that when you're drunk, it's easier to communicate, it's easier to send a message, but also it's more difficult for the person to listen to you if they're not drunk as well. Do you have experiences with that? Because mine are not great.
well, yes, I guess. I don't remember like receiving voice drunk messages from people. Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, I think if they're not like coming home from a party as well, I would imagine that you would be like at least weird to listen to that voice or read that thing. I remember once I remember returning from a party, and then I recorded a video. It was not a voice message. I record a video to someone, and then I put the camera like, and then I was like, I want to tell you this. Listen, and then I sent, but in the morning I had no like recall of having sending it.
No.
Yeah, but I think that's I don't know. I do you think it's good? It's good that we do this drunk things. Do you think that we do them because we actually want it, or it's a part of our brains? Do we drink so we have the courage to do? Would because sometimes the feeling is like regretting, but do we really regret?
Hmm.
What do you think?
It's complex, right? Because you kind of have, when you drink, you lose personal barriers, right?
Yeah.
You take
Hmm.
them down and you do things you wouldn't in a normal state. And also, when you drink, you have an excuse for doing something that is not considered appropriate. So it's a win-win situation if you think about it. But there is a lot of shame that comes with it, and at least in my personal experience. And I think the thing is, how do you deal with that shame of the things you do when the party's over?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you communicate with the person you're talking to
Yeah.
in that stage and after? Like,
Yeah.
does it have does communication happen? I think that's the question for me personally. So if communication happens and if you can get something out of it, of the things you said, if you are both drunk or only one of the sides of the conversation is drunk, if there is communication, I think that's fabulous, no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough because I tend to focus on the shame aspect.
Yeah. So I think the question is, do you, João, send
Yeah.
drunk messages?
Oh,
Or have you?
but I haven't. That's the thing.
Oh,
Because
amazing.
I, the shame is so strong to me that I say nobody has to deal with this version of me.
Perfect.
So I won't bother anyone. I'll be quiet on the corner of my and that's the thing. I think I focus on the shame and I don't want to bother anyone. That's a side of me that the alcohol tends to bring out.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had people who sent me messages in the past while they were drunk. And for me, it was tough because if I'm not drunk with the person, if we're not in the party sharing this mindset, it's hard for me to communicate. That's why I say it, if there is communication while
Mm-hmm.
you're drunk, and drunk here can be inferred as drunk from alcohol, but also other things. For example, when we're in love, we were discussing about this during the Ocean Eyes conversation. When you're in love, you feel like you're not yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah.
you say things that maybe you wouldn't in a
Yeah.
normal state as well. So that for me goes a long way for different situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to keep things to myself because I don't want to
Yeah.
bother. And I feel like when I'm not myself, when I'm not in control, I'm bothering a little bit more than usual. Does it
Yeah.
make any sense?
It does. It does. And it brings me to mind like anger as well. When we are so angry, like controlled by anger, we do not communicate well. So we better chill out and then go back to that thing and communicate properly. Otherwise the message might get lost. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you something else. I'm
Of
asking
course.
too many questions. So when she says here, I've learned to lose you, can't afford to. Is it possible to learn how to lose someone? Because it feels like she wants to self sabotage here. Maybe she has this person, she loves this person, but she's like, leave me because I love you too much. I'm not going to leave you, but I'm telling you, I'm not good for you. Um, if you let me, I'll hurt you. Um, yeah, and I know you're leaving anyway, so I have learned how to lose you. So it's, you know, how do we learn how to lose someone? Is she being honest? Can we learn how to lose someone? Can we be prepared? Because sometimes I remember like this video of Jujut. Do you know Jujut?
I do. I love her.
Yeah, so she has this video about expectations. Like we like to play cool and say, I am I have no expectations, but we have at the moment we say that I have no expectations, we are already filled with expectations. We are nothing but expectations. So
Mhm.
is it something that we say like it's okay, you can go? Because it feels to me like how can we learn how to lose someone we love? We'd say this just so we won't suffer because if they go we will suffer. I don't know. What do you think? Is it possible?
Wow. I
Or
would
it's
love
too
to.
much?
No, it's not too much. I would love to know your opinion about it because it's a complex matter. Um, I I think when we say that, we're trying to make a statement that we are independent emotionally, that everything's fine, like everything's you can go. I mean, doesn't make any difference. No, of course it does. If you have to say that, it's because you haven't learned how to let go. That's my opinion. If you have
Mhm.
to state it, you're not ready and you're trying to, put a mask on. But I don't think it works. And honestly, I do believe we say that because we just want to be loved and accepted. And you say, "Oh, I've learned to lose you." There's so much, as always with Billy, vulnerability. That's almost a tongue twister. There's a lot of vulnerability there. Because if you say, "I've learned to lose you," I mean, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
You're saying that you've been hurt a lot, that you've been through a lot, and that you got to a point where it's okay because you suffered a lot before. So
Yeah.
it's very complex. I don't know. What do you think about this?
No, I agree with you totally. It is a statement. If we need to state this, it's not true because I mean, if it was true, we wouldn't have to say. But I'm intrigued by this can't afford to. What does she can't afford to?
Lose the person?
Because
That
if she learned to, how to, I mean,
maybe she's floating, going up and down in this
yeah,
feeling. That's my hypothesis. I mean, I've learned to lose you, but I can't afford to lose you. Like, I'll
uh,
only hurt you if you let me. Ah, I'm coming home on my own, everything's fine, but I could lie and say I like it like that.
yeah,
But it's a lie. So I think this whole song fluctuates between I'm being honest and very vulnerable and saying what I need and what I feel and that I need you. And at the same time, putting this mask on and saying everything's fine. I'm going alone in the house, I've learned to lose you. So I think it fluctuates. And it's interesting when you think about other songs like Hostage. Do you remember this song?
no, no,
It's probably one of my favorites from her
mm,
first EP.
hostage. Mm-hmm.
When she says to the person, "Let me hold you like a hostage."
Mm, mm-hmm,
Remember?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I think this is a theme with Billy. Like she loves the person, but it's always a very problematic love. And it's the same thing. The other, you have like, "Let me love you, let me hold you like a hostage." And at the same time, she's saying, "I'm the bad guy." And she's putting herself as the big enemy of the situation. So I think she fluctuates between these two opposites
yeah.
really well and really, you know, in a very complex way. I don't know. That's what I
Wow,
feel.
wow. Yes, yes, it feels like she's talking, she's processing things, and it is contradictory seemingly, but it's how she feels inside. It's not, yeah, it doesn't have to make sense or to be coherent. Is it a word? Am I making it up?
No, I
Coherent?
think it is. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, yes, what about this? Call me
Hmm.
friend, but keep me closer. Call me back.
Call me back. And do you remember the sound of the voice in this part? Call me back. Right? It's almost like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Uh, I would love to hear you first on this one because I don't know if I could put
Yeah.
my thoughts in a
Okay.
clear
So,
way.
no, so what I do when I like songs is to search as much as I can about them, what the artist meant. I mean, I know deep down it doesn't matter. They put the songs into the world and it's how we relate to them. Maybe they mean something entirely different. Who knows? But I like to try and understand what they meant or what other people thought about it. So this song I was searching, uh, and I discovered that this "Call Me Back" was not in the first version of the song. Did you know that?
Oh, I
That it was
didn't.
not? No, it was only "Call Me Friend, but Keep Me Closer." This "Call Me Back," some fans thought that she decided to include because of the song "Party Favor," when she starts, "Hey, call me back when you get
Ah,
this."
yeah.
And it- some fans thought that it was like how do you say, a continuum,
Yeah, continuity, maybe.
continuity of that
Mhm,
song, and then
mhm,
she is saying, "Call me back, call me friend," because she's referring to that song.
yeah,
And something I read also because I was intrigued by this, "Call me friend, but keep me closer." There is a saying that says that keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
mhm,
So
mhm.
she's saying, like, call me friend, but keep me closer,
Like an enemy.
like an enemy. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. And I don't know.
it's
It's difficult to interpret it.
sure. But I think we could go like in different ways, but I just love this thing that
Mm,
you said so much,
mm,
like keep me closer like an enemy, because
mm-hmm,
that's exactly the thing that Billy does between the different sides of the story. And I need love, I'm an enemy, I'm toxic, and I just love that. But I think we do this, right? When we say, like, sometimes we stay in people's lives as a friend, even though we want to be more, or sometimes relationships are not very clear. So you can be a friend and an enemy at the same time. You can be a lover and an enemy, or a lover and a friend. So I think it's interesting to think about this as well. When we love people, love can, take a lot of shapes, I
mm-hmm.
guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, totally, yes. Yes. And yeah, it is um I think I don't know, but I think actually those opposites, they're not so far away from each other like love and hate.
Mm-hmm.
They are very close, like, and it's not, I don't know. So it's difficult to figure out how we feel about someone. It could be a variety of feelings and in different moments. And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting to see that in her music. There's a positive, a seemingly opposites.
Yes, I have. I don't know if you know this, but I have studied Wonder Woman in my master's degree,
Wow.
uh, which is a little random, I know.
Wow.
But there's one quote that stuck with me while I was researching her comics that is, love and hate can coexist, each preying on the other. So they're always hunting. Love is hunting hate, hate is hunting love. And it's almost like a yin yang situation.
Wow. Wow.
So I think maybe it applies. It just came to me
Yeah.
while you were saying this.
Wow, amazing. I've heard somewhere that the opposite of things are indifference. The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Because love and hate means that you care. If you care too much to hate someone. Yeah. But interesting that you study on Wonder Woman. Yeah, would like to know more about that
Yeah,
later.
sure, we could talk about it. It's very random, I know, but
Yeah,
it came
no,
to me because,
definitely. No,
yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah.
because we're always talking about human feelings, right? And I love what you just said as well. I think love has a lot of opposites. It depends on the perspective that you look at it.
Hmm.
So I've just, well, a lot of songs that recently came out say that the opposite of love is fear.
Hmm.
Some people say the opposite of love is indifference. Some people say it's hate. And I think they're all true in a way. And they say that, the most important thing is that love is such a complex feeling, such a complex emotion,
Hmm.
actually. So it has a lot of different sides to it.
Hmm. Wow, amazing, amazing. Yeah. So the last question I would like to ask you, I am curious, is this, you told me that that song, you told me behind the scenes that
Hmm.
this song meant so much to you. I was
Yeah.
wondering if it is your favorite song by Billy?
It's very close to my heart, but it isn't
Mhm.
my favorite.
Oh, what is it? What is your favorite?
Oh, I have so many, but probably I would say it's between. Oh my God, Camila, you
It's
should have
difficult.
prepared me for this
Sorry, I'm
one.
asking
No,
questions.
no, I love it, but it's so tough because she has so many great songs. But I'll stick to her first EP, and it's probably Hostage because I just feel like it's so complex. Like, how can you love someone and keep this person as a hostage, love you like a hostage? I mean, it's so complex. And I also love a song called 6 Feet Under. Do you know this
Mm,
one?
no, I
Yeah,
might, but
yeah, because
it,
it's amazing. And the chorus of this song says, um, what does it say? I'm not good with words, but it says um, something about love dying and being, 6 feet under. And she asks, well, if we had rain right now, would roses bloom, in the place our love is buried? So for me, that's a perfect Billie Eilish image. I just love it. What is your favorite song by her?
um, it depends. It depends of the moment, but I would say Ocean Eyes.
Yeah,
It's. I mean, I'm related to that, connected with that song and everything that it reminds me of. So I think for me, it's like I I literally like stop if this song stops, it starts playing. I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, okay, yeah. But I for a second, and it brings everything.
yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
when a song makes you stop, it's a good song. It's
it is.
special.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to Billie Eilish. She was my companion during a
Mhm.
difficult time. I wish I could tell her that her music helped me heal and evolve. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and I'm so grateful to you as well for being here and discussing and like being open. Yeah, thank you so much, João.
Of course, it was an amazing time. I loved discussing the songs with you. I love your, input on different
Yeah,
parts of the song. I haven't thought about before. So thank you so much for the opportunity for sharing. I think this is the beauty of these conversations that you have, that you share a lot and we are able
mm,
to share as well. So thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. So I wish you a great Sunday of Easter, a lot of chocolate, and I hope to have
Thank
you
you.
back soon to talk about anything. So
I hope
thank you.
so. It will be a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Bye.